Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CCISO Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. A security roadmap is more than a project timeline. It is a structured and strategic plan that guides the organization toward defined cybersecurity objectives. It allows CISOs and their teams to visualize the future state of the security program, align it with business priorities, and allocate resources accordingly. A well-delimited roadmap brings clarity to what the organization will do, when it will do it, and why it matters. It connects tactical efforts like tool implementation and control enhancement to broader goals such as risk reduction, regulatory compliance, and operational resilience. By establishing a forward-looking, phased approach to improvement, the roadmap also enables visibility and accountability at every level. Stakeholders across business units, IT, finance, and executive leadership can reference the roadmap to understand priorities, track progress, and contribute to execution. It also supports budgeting, workforce planning, and strategic investment decisions across near-term and multi-year horizons. The CISO plays the central leadership role in roadmap development. Creating a security roadmap is not a solo effort. It requires input and coordination from across the organization. However, the CISO is responsible for defining the security vision, ensuring that it aligns with enterprise strategic objectives and guiding its translation into a structured plan. The CISO prioritizes initiatives based on risk, compliance timelines, and known threat vectors. These priorities are then expressed as initiatives that balance security outcomes with business value. Because most of the roadmap will contain technical components, the CISO must translate those elements into language that resonates with executives and non-technical stakeholders. This means framing endpoint upgrades or cloud security tools in terms of data protection, customer trust, and operational continuity. The CISO also secures executive sponsorship to legitimize the roadmap and drive adoption across departments. Without this cross-functional support, execution may stall or lose alignment with enterprise goals. Planning a roadmap begins with collecting the right inputs. First among these are the results of risk assessments, control gap analyses, and previous audit findings. These help define areas that need immediate improvement and provide a foundation for prioritization. Regulatory and compliance deadlines are another key driver. If new obligations under data protection laws or industry standards are on the horizon, those requirements must be mapped into the roadmap to ensure timely readiness. Threat intelligence helps CISOs stay ahead of emerging risks. For example, increases in supply chain attacks may prompt earlier investment in third-party risk management. The roadmap should also reflect the organization's current maturity and desired future state. Are controls currently ad hoc or optimized? Is detection capability reactive or predictive? Lastly, feedback from stakeholders, including governance committees, department heads, and end users, ensures the roadmap reflects operational realities and addresses real-world needs. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Strategic and tactical objectives must be clearly defined within the roadmap. Strategic objectives express the long-term vision, building a zero-trust architecture, achieving ISO 27001 certification, or reducing enterprise risk scores by a targeted amount. Tactical objectives translate those aspirations into achievable steps, deploying multi-factor authentication, enhancing log monitoring, or expanding awareness training. The roadmap should include foundational improvements across areas such as identity and access management, network segmentation, and endpoint hardening. It should also cover resilience-building actions like backup testing, incident response exercises, and threat detection enhancements. Audit and compliance milestones such as SOC 2 Type 2 certification or HIPAA assessments must be factored in. Tying each objective to defined KPIs enables measurement and validation. This ensures the roadmap is not just a list of activities, but a tool for demonstrating progress and accountability. Organizing the roadmap into phases or themes adds structure and improves usability. Thematic grouping allows similar initiatives to be managed together, for example, access control projects or cloud security improvements. Planning can also be structured around quarterly or annual milestones, enabling alignment with budgeting cycles and performance reviews. Balancing short-term wins with long-term goals is key. Quick wins, like updating policies or improving patch cadence, build momentum. Complex efforts like CM deployment or IAM consolidation take longer and require sustained focus. Prioritization should be based on value delivery, urgency, and interdependencies. If one project relies on another's completion, those dependencies must be reflected in scheduling. Horizon planning extends visibility beyond the current fiscal year, allowing the roadmap to evolve in response to new risks, technologies, or business transformations. This flexibility ensures that the roadmap remains relevant over time. Resource planning is critical to turning the roadmap from theory into execution. For each initiative, estimates must be made for staffing, tools, and financial requirements. These include both initial implementation and ongoing maintenance. The roadmap should also specify ownership, identifying key roles for each project, and defining accountability for delivery. Dependencies must be flagged, especially when initiatives rely on broader IT upgrades, vendor timelines, or availability of subject matter experts. Coordinating with enterprise or digital transformation efforts can reduce friction and improve synergy. For example, aligning cloud security efforts with a cloud migration initiative avoids duplication. Onboarding new staff or vendors and managing change within the user community must be planned and budgeted. A roadmap that does not account for resource limitations or change fatigue is unlikely to succeed. Communicating the roadmap is as important as developing it. A roadmap that lives only in a security team spreadsheet will not gain traction. CISOs must use clear, compelling visuals, Gantt charts, swim lane diagrams, or layered timelines to present the roadmap to different audiences. Executive summaries should highlight how the roadmap supports strategic goals, addresses compliance, and reduces business risk. Communication should be tailored to each audience. Boards care about alignment with business strategy and exposure reduction. IT leaders focus on integration and technical feasibility. Finance wants to understand cost, value, and return. Business units want clarity on timing and impact. Transparency is essential. Changes to roadmap priorities, delays in delivery, or new initiatives should be communicated broadly. This ensures continued stakeholder trust and reinforces the roadmap as a living, collaborative tool. Oversight of roadmap execution requires governance support. Roadmap sponsorship should be assigned to a formal body such as the Security Steering Committee or an enterprise PMO. Progress should be reviewed regularly, quarterly is typical, using performance metrics that track initiative health, timeline adherence, and alignment with goals. When projects fall behind, exceed budget, or experience scope changes, those issues must be escalated and addressed. Metrics from roadmap execution can be included in compliance reports and audit summaries to show that the organization is proactively managing security improvements. Governance oversight also ensures that the roadmap remains connected to the broader risk, compliance, and business planning processes. Roadmaps must also be agile. As business priorities shift, new regulations emerge, or unexpected incidents occur, the roadmap must adapt. For example, a major breach in the industry may trigger reprioritization of supply chain controls. An acquisition may require adding systems or updating risk assessments. A new regulation may create a compliance gap that must be filled on short notice. These changes must be documented, evaluated, and communicated. Maintaining agility does not mean losing focus. The CISO must ensure that pivots remain aligned with long-term strategy. Change management practices help manage stakeholder expectations and maintain support. Documenting the rationale for changes also supports transparency and provides a historical view for future planning. On the SEC exam, roadmap development is covered through both knowledge and scenario-based questions. Candidates should understand terminology such as milestone, deliverable, dependency, and KPI. Questions may ask how to prioritize initiatives, align with business strategy, or present the roadmap to executives. The exam tests the CISO's role in balancing short-term wins with long-term security maturity, aligning security improvements with compliance deadlines, and using roadmaps to drive budgeting and resource decisions. Mastery of this topic demonstrates the ability to lead strategically, integrate planning with governance, and ensure the security program evolves in step with the business. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cyber CISO Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com